What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. But this video, though, this video is entitled, Is Female Empowerment Counterproductive? Damn you, BGS, Ibmore, and Ron Wills. I just was trying to chill. Ron Wills initially did a video on paternity fraud. BGS, he inspired BGS to make a video. So this is why I'm about to talk about the things I'm talking about. So I just had to give y'all that thing. Here's the thing. For years, females wanted female empowerment. There's nothing wrong with that. But what wound up happening was, in some ways it jumped the shark. In other ways they were just doing things that were counterproductive. Because there was another video with a young lady talking about, I think Nyla was talking about men's rights activists when feminism went too far. To the point where it wasn't about equality, it's just about trying to get an advantage over men at every turn, even at the detriment of the society, right? So I asked the question, is female empowerment counterproductive? Because what it's doing in certain aspects is showing you what men will do if they had a position and what women will do if they had a position, right? Because a lot of the talking parts of male oppression comes in light of men creating spaces for women so they can be successful. Now, are men giving women the keys to the castle? No. But men have always been at the forefront of making sure women were actually able to do things that they wanted to do, you know. But the reason I'm asking is female empowerment counterproductive is because they have women in positions to be gatekeepers. And what you find is they're not doing the very same thing that they wanted the men to do. They're not opening the doors for, they may open the doors for their daughters. They may open the doors for their, but they won't open the doors for their sons. Especially their heterosexual sons, right? So now you have in a situation where you're seeing it work well. Okay, the type of men that put you where you at, you'll literally, if you see them coming up, you'll literally slice their throat, stab them in the back. And these are the very guys that got you in the position where you at. They're very tight. So is female empowerment counterproductive? Because saying that, you know, you needed these guys to give women an opportunity, and women are taking this opportunity and they're completely being all of the negative things that they say the men are. And what I mean by that is projection. Men are, you know, liars, cheaters, manipulators, thieves, pillagers, you know. But part of this female empowerment is women in a position doing all of the things and then some that they say men do. And why I tie that to Rom and BGS's video about paternity fraud is because men have a code of conduct where if you cross certain ethical lines, certain lines of integrity and dignity, there will be consequences and repercussions amongst men, whether women know it or not. But female empowerment seems to lack a code of conduct. So is it counterproductive? Because now you're put in a position of technically being looked at as rogue males, but rogue males who we can't put down. You get what I'm saying? So it gets interesting, very interesting, because it's beyond equality now. And the reason I say it's beyond equality is because you want the same respect as a man, but you don't want to put in the same work as the man to get that respect. So that's counterproductive, because if you want the spot without the work, it's going to come off a bad way. You want the benefits of that, but you also want the benefits of chivalry, and you want the benefits of femininity. And is the empowerment counterproductive? Because to a degree, what winds up happening is you see more and more ladies nowadays lacking femininity, not understanding what it is to be a woman, what it is to be a lady, right? But they want the treatment of a lady, but they're uncomfortable being a lady or feminine. They want the respect of a man, but they're not men, and they don't do what men do to get the respect. So now it's counterproductive, because now it's like you're trying to pick all of the pros out of both genders and relinquish all of the cons. And that creates a situation where people say, you're really not trying to be productive. You're trying to be counterproductive, because you're trying to get everything for nothing. You're trying to get everything on a discount, everything on a cheap, everything without a sacrifice. So when it starts to get viewed that way, it doesn't look like empowerment anymore. It looks like pedestal oppression. Put me up here high, but I'm better than you. Do you know how to make a pedestal? No. How did you get up here? Somebody put me here, but I'm better than them. Yeah. Can you put somebody, and this is part of the empowerment that I'm talking about, is can you put somebody else in that position? And this is another part of the issue. Is it counterproductive? Because sometimes you see ladies who are not putting ladies in powerful positions. They're not empowering other ladies, to the point where there are other women who get mad at women because they have to go to men to get empowered, because the very women that they're supposed to be on the same team with won't empower them. And all of that infighting goes in. So is it counterproductive? Because everybody wants quote unquote power. But I talked about this before, about power in general. A lot of people want power, but few people can wield it. You just want to sit in a powerful position. You know, you want to be a quarterback without knowing how to throw or to read a defense, or that's a problem. So is the empowerment counterproductive? Because, you know, there's going to be pressure, trying times, adversity. And what makes it counterproductive is when you face these trying times and adversity, you have to handle that. You can't outsource fighting your adversity. You can't outsource your sink or swim moment. You can't outsource your destiny. Okay? So when you're seeing people trying to circumvent destiny and say, look, that's what the dude for. You can't be empowered if a dude's always got to come in and, you know, will the situation into a more comfortable state. So that makes it counterproductive, because what winds up happening is your power doesn't look like your power internally. Your power looks like you're just there as a figurehead or a face, and while somebody else is behind the scenes doing the heavy lifting, kind of like Dick Cheney. You know, people look at Dick Cheney as the actual president, while George W. Bush was the president, but he was the face of the country when Dick Cheney was actually looked at as the actual brains of the country. And if you put yourself in that position, this is why I say the empowerment is counterproductive. Because when you want to be the face of something and not the brains of something, or you want to operate as the face and not the brains, you make it bad for everybody following you, right? And the reason this tied is into what the brothers were talking about earlier with the paternity fraud is because BGS said something very important, that, you know, there used to be a time where the women in the family would make sure there's no paternity fraud doesn't exist. They'll be the one to say, if that is that your baby or isn't that your baby. Now they're not doing that. You know, they just either want a baby or just want a man to get screwed over for having a baby. So now, when you and guys talk about, you know, matriarchal mindsets, I've talked about that also. Now, when you're looking at how it plays out as far as practicality purpose, as far as how the community operates, female empowerment isn't empowering the community. You know, the women are having to blame the men. The men are not getting put in positions by the women who were empowered by men to be able to empower people in general. And now you see just this big cluster of shenanigans that doesn't work. So now people look at women as incompetent. The same way when Hillary Clinton was running for president, it was the women who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. And white women in particular, right? So is the empowerment counterproductive because even the women who want it don't believe in it when they see a white woman. Even white women didn't believe in it when they saw a white woman at the helm. See, black people believed in black people enough to vote for Barack Obama because we can see ourselves in that position regardless, and we can feel like we're competent just as a group. But it didn't work the other way with the women, in particular the white women. So this is why I'm asking, is female empowerment counterproductive? You know? Oh, well, I'm going to add this and then I'm going to get out of here. I go back to Essence Festival some years back when they had all the housewives, the basketball wives and housewives were the female empowerment group. And then after it was over with, the people on the panel had to look back and say, did we just put a bunch of women who are ex-wives or ex-side pieces or ex-jump-offs who go around getting drunk and fighting everywhere as the picture for how we should be empowered? And it was like, yeah, you did. And then they had to double back the next year and try to clean it up. But they had been doing things like that for years. It just hit a pinnacle when they realized who they put up at that point. And to me, that was counterproductive, because if you looked at the flyers for the years that it was going up, you would have known that this ain't a good idea, because this ain't the crew that you want to run it. But the face for empowerment has been dysfunctional. So it makes the empowerment look counterproductive and dysfunctional. So now I'm done. We out. Peace.